Welcome to the Best of Markham podcast, brought to you by me, Igor Klibanov from FitnessSolutionsPlus.ca, your personal trainers for chronic conditions. Here with me today is Keith Pears, a head chef for a number of different restaurants, including Pears and Glass Kitchen. Keith, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Igor.
My pleasure. Tell us a bit about yourself.
So how far do you want me to go back?
As far as you like, we have time.
Um, so yeah, I started in this industry. Actually, this kind of, I guess, goes into one of your other questions I saw. So both my parents are chefs, and my grandparents own a restaurant. So I kind of grew up spending a lot of time with my grandma running around the restaurant, turning the open close sign around, helping her peel potatoes and things like that. Because my parents are always working. So just kind of grew up in the kitchen. And then high school came around, and then eventually kind of just wanted some, money to buy some clothes and things like that. So started working for my parents, dishwashing, doing some light prep work, portioning pasta, cleaning mussels, whatever that needed to get done. Um, and then, yeah, after high school, I continued on doing prep work and slowly making my way into the kitchen, like plating food, like a little simple plating work at the dessert station. And then my mom pushed me to go to culinary school. So, quite young when I went to culinary school. I think I was the youngest in my class, probably around like 19 years old when I had started. And so I did my apprenticeship there. And I spent a good 7 years, 8 years working for my parents. And then, I felt like I needed to kind of venture off because I was always known as Linda's son.
Right.
And I kind of wanted my own identity. So that's when I started, trying new things. I'd already been in restaurants for over 10 years. So, I wanted to get into hotels.
Mhm.
And then I started working the last 14 years in hotels, working for Marriott. And then I decided to join a census. And now I got Glass Kitchen and Pears, and I'm the corporate executive chef for the census group.
Yeah, yeah. And as we were just talking about before the podcast, my wife and I first found out about Glass Kitchen just on Instagram. We saw the menu, we saw the decor, and we are like, this place is amazing. We
Yeah.
went to eat there, and I'm like, this place is out of this world. I actually used to live right in that neighborhood near Glass Kitchen.
Okay.
Moved to my current neighborhood before you opened Glass Kitchen. Uh,
Yeah.
and we were so impressed with Glass Kitchen that we asked one of the waiters, does this does this are there other restaurants like this? And yeah, they mentioned there's Pears as well. So we went to Pears just last week and we loved it a lot.
Thank
Fantastic menu, fantastic decor, environment, waiters, etc.
you. Mhm.
What do you like most about your work?
Um, I mean, I always liked art class. I always liked, I guess, making things with my hands, painting, um, all those. I just enjoy art in general. And um, when I was able to learn like flavor combination,
Right.
and then I came across this chef named Michel Bras,
Mhm.
pretty well known, famous French chef. And my mom ate at his restaurant and brought me back one of his DVDs that he had and a cookbook. And I just kind of fell in love with the way he plated food. Nobody was plating food at that time the way he was plating it. And I was just like, once I was able to combine like art with food, I was like I really fell in love with it.
Mm.
And then as I got older, it's hospitality. It's like being able to take care of people and make people happy. I think, in this stressful world that we live in, kind of crazy, if you're able to contribute to, someone's a little bit of peace, their happiness, that makes me happy, you
Yeah,
know,
that's
that,
amazing.
yeah. So that's why I love what I do.
I can tell you whenever my wife and I eat at your restaurants, we're happy.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you.
so it sounds like you like the application of art to food.
Definitely. Definitely. I mean, I think a lot of people can cook, anyone can cook.
Mhm.
Um, But I think it just takes a different skill set to be able to combine all the things together to make it like, that's that next level of art. you know.
Yeah, yeah, totally. And what are you working on right now that's exciting to you?
So I don't know if you know, there's a competition called the Bocuse d'Or. So I just finished representing Canada
Right.
at the Bocuse d'Or, and I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna go for it again. Anyways, I have to do a national selection. It happens every 2 years.
Yeah.
Um, it's a big sacrifice and a big commitment. But you know, at a census, they really support my journey,
Mhm.
and which is really, I'm really grateful for that. And so it's yeah, it's kind of like the Olympics for cooking in a way.
Wow.
It's named after a famous chef, Paul Bocuse, and it
Right.
happens in Lyon, France,
Mhm.
every 2 years, the finals. So the process is you're selected to be the national candidate, and then from there you have a continental selection. And it's the Bocuse d'Or Americas, and the top five countries are advanced to the finals. So, and that happens will now happen in January 2027. So that's going to be part of my journey if I'm successful next month in winning the national selection again. So
That is very exciting. We wish you the
yeah,
best of luck.
thank you, thank you.
What obstacles have you encountered in your time as a chef?
Obstacles. Um, I mean, there's always a lot of obstacles, but I mean, that's just life, right? I think you need to embrace those challenges. So, and I've kind of had that mentality now for quite some time, and I feel like fortunate to have that mentality because I feel like a lot of people struggle to have that kind of positive attitude.
Mhm.
Especially I find in hospitality sometimes it's it's hard to train people to kind of think like that. But you know, I mean, it's the common ones that people talk about. You know, rising food costs. You know, from a business standpoint, you know, definitely like rising food costs. You know, the labor. I think nowadays, I mean, you see different cultures of cooking almost fading away in a way, you know, because some of the younger generation, they don't want to spend time learning how things were done before, you know, and
Mhm.
it's kind of sad because, you know, you want those things to live on, you know, the way people cooked many, many years ago.
Right.
Because those flavors, if you don't learn how to do it and achieve those flavors, and that will just kind of disappear, you know? So,
We've forgotten.
yeah.
And obviously not in the restaurant business, but how do you deal with those challenges, with the rising food costs, staffing, etc.?
You definitely have to be creative with the menu, you know, trying to be able to, you know, still use high quality ingredients, but, um, you know, I like, yeah, just being creative in how you create that menu because you still need to be approachable, in terms of like pricing. I think people really appreciate value nowadays.
Yeah.
You know, but, you know, at the end of the day, it's low margins, right? For us as entrepreneurs in the restaurant industry. So, um, yeah, just finding really, really creative ways. Um, labor, you know, I think it's just attracting the right talent and trying to, you know, lead by example, right? Trying to make sure that I'm always trying to push the envelope for myself to hopefully inspire the people around me,
Right.
you know, and hopefully I can attract them wanting to work with me because of that. And I do feel very fortunate to be able to have a good team around me, you know, all the way down from chefs to sous chefs to cooks to dishwashers. I feel very fortunate to have a good team.
Yeah, yeah, and on my end, just as a customer, I don't get to speak to the other chefs, the sous chefs, etc. But I do get to speak to the waiters, and
Hmm.
even among like there's something unique about the waiters at your specific restaurants. They're not just there to collect a paycheck. They're actually there like they have such enthusiasm for their job and for the restaurant, even for the customer. And like I said, that's unique to your restaurant. I haven't seen that with other restaurants.
I think it's important to try to create, you know, that culture, right? It's really we need to try to deliver an experience. Like people coming in the dining room are paying money, right? They're paying money to be served, to escape from whatever they're trying to escape from. You know, they're if they were hungry, they could just eat at home. You
Yeah,
know, they could just Uber something in, DoorDash something in. But I feel like we're privileged to receive customers, you know? So if they're coming through that door, we have to have a certain type of attitude towards them, right? And not take that for granted. So it's really just being able to create that culture where we are here to serve them. It's hospitality,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
and just try to make an experience for them. So that you know whatever they're escaping from, like we're able to contribute to their happiness.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I have
Yeah,
a great job at it.
yeah.
What do you do in your free time?
I just like to work out. Try to stay active as much as possible. I grew up playing sports, team sports. My schedule is always busy. But I do try, it is a non-negotiable for me to stay active some way. But mostly it's lifting weights. I do like to run though. I've done few half marathons
Nice.
so far. I haven't worked my way up to a full.
Yeah,
I keep telling myself I will, but it's a big commitment. And doing the Bocuse already is a marathon. So,
yeah, yeah.
um, but yeah, no, I try to stay active. It's really good for my mind. It helps me be a better leader, because if I'm able to manage myself, I'm able to help others. So,
I wrote a book
yeah,
called The Fit Executive a couple of years back, and I interviewed executives of companies with 50 employees or more, and
yeah,
all of them say I exercise because it makes me better at work. They don't have some of them have competitive ambitions, but most of them have no competitive ambitions. They don't want to run a marathon or bench press 315 pounds, but they know that if they take half an hour to an hour out of their day, 3 to 6 days a week, then the rest of their day is better, even at business. Uh,
definitely. 100% helps you make, better decisions, have a clear mind, more patience, empathize, all those key things that you need in our roles. So,
yeah, yeah. And because I'm a personal trainer, I have a bit of an extra interest in this. What was your half marathon time?
my best time, I think it was just over 2 hours, like 2:03 or something like that.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Full marathon on the horizon, or that's like psychological?
Uh, I mean, I will do it one day.
Yeah,
I feel like the half marathon, I can train for a couple months and do a half marathon.
right.
I feel like a full marathon, if I did that, my body would probably break down. I
Me
think
too.
you need a good 6 months of training for a full marathon. Have you done one?
No, I've been in so when I was a kid for 12 years I did martial arts. Uh
Okay.
that was my thing. After I stopped martial arts, I did powerlifting. So I'm heavily more on the strength and power side of things. But
Yeah.
in powerlifting, I did it also for 12 years and ended up deadlifting triple body weight. Then I saw all my friends who were even stronger than that, and they were popping tendons all over the place.
Yeah.
I didn't want to get even stronger than that. So triple body weight was enough for me. So then I thought, okay, I gotta stop powerlifting. I still gotta stay in shape, but I gotta stop powerlifting.
Hmm.
What's next for me? So right now, I'm actually my interest is in just running a 5K in under 20 minutes. Uh,
Oh, yeah.
I've always been able to run a 5K. I mean, I think my slowest time has been 25, 26 minutes. Uh,
That's good. That's a good time.
Thank you. But I really, really want to crack 20 minutes for a 5K. Uh,
Hmm.
Close, but that last little bit is taking a long time. Right now, I can probably do it in about 20 minutes and 50 seconds, 21 minutes. But to get
Hmm.
50 seconds to a minute is it's going to take a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. You look at the professional athletes, like the amount of work they do to their body just to be able to perform at that high level is insane.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Insane. Yeah.
yeah. To get to really good shape takes time, but to get to world class, from really good to world class, the amount of work, the extra work you have to put in, is just ridiculous. It's not like you're working for 10% more results, you're working 10% more time. You're for 10% more results, you're working, 200% more time.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's the way it goes. And since this is, after all, a Best of Markham podcast, what's your favorite business in Markham besides your own?
So I just started, coming up to Markham because of my restaurants and life changes a couple years ago with work and whatnot. But um, I would probably, because it's still kind of new to me, the one thing that stands out when you asked me that question was when we were opening Glass Kitchen. I spent a lot of time in that Commerce Gate,
Yeah.
and because we weren't open yet, I really would go to this restaurant in the corner. It's called Ricey Silo. They
Oh yeah.
have yeah, I believe that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
I really like the noodles there. I always found them like the broth like really high quality. It was
Yeah.
like a nice mushroom broth. And then they bring you out all the condiments that you put in your soup, like
Yeah.
15 different different garnishes that you add. Uh, it was just super cool, really nice presentation, and it tasted really good. So
Yeah, I used to live like maybe a 3 to 5 minute walk from that plaza. And that is the hub of bubble tea spots.
Oh yeah, and I don't know how there's so many of them. There's probably at least eight.
Yeah, yeah, just in that plaza alone. That that's
Yeah,
probably the highest density of bubble tea places outside of like Pacific Mall or something like that. Uh,
yeah,
yeah, but I mean, the great place to live, great place to work. Uh,
yeah. No, there's a lot of good food here in Markham. A lot of
oh,
good food.
absolutely. And
Yeah.
the question is, how can our viewers or listeners get in touch with you?
Probably I mean, my most active social media channel is probably Instagram. So, which is Keith underscore Pears. My
Perfect.
name with an underscore in the middle. So
And once again, your two restaurants are Glass Kitchen as well as Pears. Uh,
that's correct.
and their addresses and phone numbers will be in the description associated with this episode. Keith, thank you so much for the interview. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Igor. I really enjoyed my time with you.